Now that we've finished assessment, it's time to build a plan. And to build a plan, we need to start with a vision. So by the end of this lesson, you will visualize a path to this new career area and build the vision that's going to support it and wrap around it. So let's kind of take a break and see where we are at the moment. So we started with all possible career areas and we narrowed that down to a small few. And we had to go through a strategic process to do that. Now that we've identified the subset, the smaller subset of what we're going to look at in career areas for your career path, we now need to do still a strategic, whittled down to a tactical level of how we're going to execute on that plan. We need to start with strategic, which is the vision, and that's where we are here. We're right at the place of the new funnel where we are going to start strategically around this career area, and then we're going to whittle our way down to a tactical plan on how to achieve that goal and to establish a career path for what you want to be successful in. So now we're going to start strategically and work our way down by starting with the vision. So I want you to close your eyes for a second and think about when you see yourself in this new career area, what do you see? And what does success look like for you? And don't be worried if this is a romantic vision. A lot of times when we're thinking about something we've never done before, think of something big, like I wanted to be a professional football player or something like that. Something I wanted to be a ballerina, whatever it was for you that you wanted to be in life. Think about what that might have looked like. Because you have never had to do all the things that those people have to do, those professional athletes or those professional ballerinas, they've got their own politics and their own problems. So you don't know what their day-to-day is like. It's a bit of a romantic view. And in this moment, when we don't have all the experience, if it's a career path that you have no experience in, if you've never run a company and you dream about running a company, you probably just see yourself being in charge of things, having some control over things in your life. Later on, you'll find out that when you run a business like I have, the business controls you more than you can control it, and you have less control than you ever thought you might have. But that's beside the point. Right now, we're okay with a romantic view because what we want to say is, what does success look like in that role? We don't need to think about all the little bitty things that'll get in the way or the obstacles to a successful world in that arena. We're not looking for perfect. We're looking for a starting point of what does success look like. And that success comes with a vision that says, if I were able to find a pathway to this role, whatever this role is, and this career area is, then what does success look like? And what does the day-to-day look like for me? Or what do I imagine it to be? And it's okay if you only can imagine. If you don't have the experience in this area to pin down something more specific, that's okay. Maybe you've got some experience in this area and you're looking to fine-tune at this point with taking this course. And maybe you can make a very specific and you know all the gotchas, and you're going to say, I'm going to avoid this, and I'm going to avoid that, and I'm going to learn from past mistakes. That's all good too. We're just trying to get our eyes around a vision of what success is going to look like in this arena. So what defines success in this new career area for you? And let me be clear, you get to determine what success is. So if let's just take one of, you're going to start and run your own company, okay, a startup. That doesn't have to mean that you have to turn it into $1 billion company to be successful. That's not the only measure of success. It's not a dollar measurement. You need to figure out, what does success look like for you? And this may change over time, but we're just getting a starting point of what it might look like. Maybe initially you think, $1 billion company would be great, and that's going to define success. And later on you have to say, you know what, maybe just keeping it at a $5 million company will be great. And there's reasons why that is if you've ever run a company. But what we're looking at in this new area is, once we get more knowledge, we can always come back and revisit this. So we don't have to be perfect as we go into this. We want to go in understanding what we're looking for at the end of this rainbow, if you will. We've got a career path, we've got this pathway, at the end of it, what does it look like? And if we can start imagining that and what that looks like now, we're more likely to aim to achieve it. And we can also understand what is it about that goal that attracts us to it. It might be a feeling, it might be a sense of control. I don't pretend to know what you're going to come up with on what you define as success. The goal may assist us in understanding the skill development we're going to need also to get to that job level that we want. If your goal is to be some whiz at marketing and you've got a very specific vision of what that looks like, it may take you down. There's hundreds of pathways for marketing. It might help narrow based on what your vision is. It might help narrow what you need to focus on so you can go down that specific marketing path and not the 500 others that exist in marketing. So don't worry about that you may have to guess. We talked about the romantic vision. You don't have all the information here possibly. That's okay. If you're fine-tuning a career that you already have, you're going to be a lot more loaded with information, a lot more powered by the information and the knowledge of the role and what goes on in that position. If this is something brand new for you, embrace it. It's okay to not know. Go with what you think you know, and later on as you learn, you can adjust. That's okay. You'll be able to learn as you go. Keep that in mind. You don't have to have all the answers today. So, what do we think we know about this position that we're looking at or this career area we're looking at? We may think we know a lot about it. It's okay. We just need to understand the best we can of what we know about it. Make some assumptions about it. I've been in companies where I was promoting within the company to another role and thought I knew what that role entailed, but then once I sat in the seat, I learned there was a whole lot of other things that I had to learn and get good at. That's okay. We'll adjust to those once we get in that position. For right now, for today, we have to make some assumptions. So based on those assumptions of what we think we know about that career area, what gaps do we know exist? Based on your assumptions, what gaps do you believe exist that you need to close up? What skills do you need to have this role? And how can we start identifying those and fixing those so that when we interview in that career area, we're already well positioned that we can say, I've covered these areas. We might find out later there's other areas we've still got gaps in, but from a starting point, we need to be prepared going into this career area. What are the things I know? What are the things I don't know? And what experience would mean the most? So for people, if you're looking at a job where you've got to interview, what experience is going to give you a leg up in moving towards the career path and the position you ultimately want? So these are the things we need to be thinking about now so that we're prepared for our next steps and we can start filling these gaps, we can start practicing these skill sets, and we can start getting the experience that's needed. So in conclusion now, we should now have the big picture idea of what success looks like to us in our eyes of this new career area. And we're starting to put together a list of things that are next steps that we've got to accomplish in order to pursue this in the most successful manner possible. That way, when opportunities present itself, if we have to interview, if we have to campaign for a job, we're in that career area, we're already more likely to be looked at for that position rather than just, well, I've been doing retail for all these years and now I want to jump in and own a company, or I want to jump in and be a management person for a company when I've got no management skills. If you know that you want to start targeting an area, you need those experiences so that when the opportunities arise, you can make the next step and the next step and the next step. And we're going to start mapping out what that looks like. But for right now, your action items are you're going to write down your vision of what success looks like. And it's going to be for that role, that career area, or a specific job. And know that this will change over time. You don't have all the information. You never will. But as you get more information, you adjust. It's like the chess piece. You make a move, you assess the board, you make your next move. But we need a starting point to get on the right path. So what you're going to do before we move on to the next thing is write down your vision. What does success look like? and for each career area. I've got multiple career areas listed here so that if you're still working through more than one, you've got the opportunity to write down your vision for what success looks like.